Hey, Metal Maniacs, this is Mike Forbes of Infrared, and you are thrashing it up on Dave Softees Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio.
Hey Metal Maniacs, this is Armin Kamal of Infrared, and you are thrashing it up on Dave Softees Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio.
Alrighty, Metal Maniacs, here we go. Please help me welcome back to Metal Messiah Radio, hailing from Ottawa, Canada, from outstanding and perhaps one of the most underrated Canadian thrash metalers out there today. We have Infrared, and joining us once again, we have Armin Kamal, that's the vocalist, the guitarist, and joining us this time around, we have Mike Forbes on bass and backing vocals. I want to say great to have you back and nice to meet you for the first time, Mike. It's great to have you here with us, and welcome back to the Metal Meltdown.
Yeah, thanks,
Great,
Dave.
great.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having us, and I'm glad to join in this time.
Yeah, this is great. And I want to thank you for keeping in touch with me over my work season. You had mentioned about new music that you had, and I, of course, anytime there's new music, I want to do an interview. There's no doubt about that. And so I'm glad that you are here to talk about your music. And this is my first interview of the season. Don't know if you were aware of that, but thank you for sharing me your latest offering, From the Black Swamp, which came out September 1st of 2020, so it's brand new.
Yeah, September 30th. It was. I think we were going
Oh,
to
September
release it.
30th. Okay,
Yeah,
September
yeah. Thought we were going to
30th.
do it earlier too, but then it got moved. So
It happens. It happens.
yeah.
Okay, because I noticed on, I guess it was the Metal Archive said September 1st. You can never go by what that says because not really the Bible. But I have checked out this music, and I actually played a tune the other day on my first show, Lockdown. I thought that was an appropriate tune to play. And people took notice of it. They said, "Oh, this is new music from Infrared." And I go, "Yeah, it is." And they really enjoyed it. I have to say, listening to the entire album, I think it's your strongest effort to date. So I'm really happy to be able to talk to you about this music. It's a very strong thrash metal album.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we feel the same about it. We knew that when we were recording it and as we were putting the songs together that we'd hit our stride. You know, the first album was all the old songs from back in the '80s, and they had that vibe and feel to them. The follow-up album, Saviors, was us getting our sea legs under us, writing new material. And then this third album, we just were like riff machines and just had all these ideas. And, it just was sort of like this effortless kind of collaboration between the four of us to put out what we think is, like you said, our strongest material to date.
The riffs are incredible on this album. It was catching me. I'm not calling it catchy music, but the riffs were catching me. They were hooking me into the music, and I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. So you got something going on there that sounds like you guys are going to be around a long time, and I'm happy to hear that.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, before we actually start talking about the making of From the Black Swamp, obviously this is our first post COVID-19 interview, and we haven't been able to talk about your experience with that. And I just hope that everyone is well in Infrared, all of you in your circle, the band members, everyone, and the families. So, how was your experience with COVID? What did that do to you and your band? Obviously, you couldn't perform too many dates, you couldn't do much of anything, but you could make this great music, and I think maybe that might be part of the reason why this music is so strong, because you actually had the time to really be locked down and do it.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
let
that
Mike
was
take care of that. Yeah, go for it, Mike.
yeah. We were so basically we had quite a few songs written in a rough stage before the lockdowns all started to happen, and then as the lockdowns happened, we sort of finished the roughs of the songs, and then we started thinking about, well, what's our rush to put this out when we don't even know, there's no music scene right now, no one's playing anywhere or anything. Why don't we take our time and just sort of sit on it a bit, let things sit and listen to them more, and see what we're happy with, what we're not. And I think the results paid off, because it just felt like, for some reason, this time when it came to writing, whenever a part would come up, whether it's a drum idea, a guitar idea, vocal idea, bass idea, immediately the rest of the members just went, oh yeah, I know what to put with that. You know, it just seems so natural this time. So yeah, I think that as far as COVID goes, I think it really helped the extra time let us sit on it a bit and sort of let the songs mature a bit more this time.
You really nailed it, Mike. And I noticed that this last year with the releases from, let's say, like Testament and other bands, some of the music coming out last year was like some of the strongest music you've heard in years. I'm talking about thrash metal. Really great, outstanding releases. So it's good to know that the same is going on for you. It's got to be because you had the time to do that. You took your time, and it really paid off.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. Like it was the extra time definitely was a factor, but I think also the maturity of the band and just growing more and more in sync with each other. I just felt there was some kind of click this time that just was so natural. Armin, you have something to add there?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like, you know, it did allow a little bit of time for the songs to percolate. I wouldn't say that we did like drastic deviations from any of this stuff. Like we were ready, willing, and able to release it in, you know, in 2020. And then we said, let's hold off on it. So it just gave a little more time to add a little more colors to the canvas and maybe revisit some of the sonic qualities of the production, right? So in that sense, yeah, like it really did, the time did help us, I think.
And the writing for this, from the Black Swamp, how did this all come together? Who created the words and the music? Did you write most of the lyrics, Armin, or was this done together?
So Kirk and I, we've always sort of collaborated, I guess, like even from the beginning, but like I would do the lion's share of the lyrical writing, like even back in the early days. He'd say, well, here's an idea and here's a couple of words or a line or whatever. But in the past, with the past two albums, so Saviors and this one, Kirk sort of started delivering more like full song lyrical content.
Okay.
You know, and you know, I've talked to him about this, so it's not a big surprise. Just like anybody, you got to get your sea legs there too. And so, like, you know, for Saviors, we get some ideas, and then I would rework them, and so then that was a collaboration. And then this time around, like his lyrical writing has just gotten like really strong. So, for example, Evil Ascent. I mean, I did put some lyrical content in there, but the majority of it is his, and it's really engaging. It's like one of my favorite songs to sing because just the way the words flow and the structure and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's sort of how it goes with the lyrics. And as far as like this, the riffs and stuff like that, so Kirk and I also, because we're the guitar players, we come up with the riffs. But like I've said in every interview past, is no infrared sound sounds the way it does, and until you know Mike and Al help with the arrangements, put in the creative bass lines and the creative drum lines. Basically it's the personality, it's the backbone personality of the songs, right? That give us the groove that we have and the energy that we have with the guitars on top.
It's a really great offering, like I said, and this is self-produced, right?
Yeah. This was my. So I produced the other albums. Then the last EP that we did, which was the Back to the Warehouse, I actually produced and mixed it, and then this time I did the entire thing from front to back. And it's not, you know, because I want kudos for it or whatever it is. It does come down. You just learn over time, and it's a lot cheaper if you can do it yourself. So, so it's an economic choice and a challenge.
I have to tell you, I know that you're a do-it-yourself band, and I can tell by the sound of your music that you take pride in what you do, and you're doing it the right way. It's just an outstanding thrash offering. So this is all done in your studio?
Yeah. And I've said it before too, is like if people saw my studio, they would laugh. They would, you know, because it's a couple of speakers on a desktop in front of a Mac computer, and You know, you get used to your setup, you get used to the sonic qualities, you know exactly what things are going to sound like when you put them on another system. So, you know, with the software that's available now, I'm not saying I have crappy stuff. Like, I've got good quality equipment. It's just, it doesn't look like your standard studio where everybody's got like racks of preamps, you know, and mics all over the place and that kind of stuff. It looks like a work desk. Yeah. Until the software comes up and you start plugging a couple of mics into a small preamp, and then you're off to the races. But yeah, so it's amazing what you can do with a modestly priced studio.
When you know what you're doing, it works out well, and obviously you know what you're doing, and the sound comes through. So congratulations on that. You don't have to have, like you're saying, a huge studio if you know how to do it and you have it mastered already.
Yeah, it helps. The experience definitely helps. And of course, you know, it's not just me too. It's just like the guys, we all agree upon the sonic quality. Like, how do you like this bass tone? How do you like the drums? You know, like the guitar tones and stuff like that. So it's, you know, so there's 4 sets of ears kind of basically fine tuning the final result.
Infrared is very diplomatic. You work at it as a group. You don't do like one person is in charge of everything. You actually get everybody's input before you move forward. That's what it sounds like.
It's funny because if you look at the credits of things, you'll see Armin Kamal's name everywhere, and then some people may look at it like, oh, this is the Armin Kamal band with 3 other guys that play with him. But in reality, you're right. It's really all of us doing everything. Even though Armin does, I can't even count how much this guy contributes to this band in so many ways, musically, business-wise, financially, you know, just everything, organizational. But yeah, every decision that we do and everything comes down to the 4 of us, equal parts, you know.
Excellent. That's great news.
Yeah.
And Armin mentioned something about the canvas, and that just made me think of the cover art. So now I'm going to ask you about the cover art, and I have to say it's outstanding piece of artwork also, and I like the details with your infrared logo on that as well. Could you tell us more about who created the artwork for your new album?
Yeah, there was Nate McDonald from Barnstormers Tattoo here in Ottawa, Canada, and so he's a metalhead at his core, and he'd done some tattoos for Kirk. So Kirk actually pointed us in his direction, and we had some conversations with him around the artwork and said, okay, well, you know, this is kind of the theme of the album. Threw some ideas at him, and he came back with that artwork. And then we just, you know, as we put the album cover together, the colors were different on it, so we applied a filter to it, sent it back to Nate to make sure he was okay with, you know, the manipulation. So the artwork is, nothing's changed in that regard. Like, the artwork it's all his artwork. All we did was change the colors a bit, and he was okay with it. And so once again, we're very diplomatic. We're diplomatic with the 4 of us. We're diplomatic with the people that we work with. So as soon as he was cool with it, that we said, okay, we got it, and that was the album cover.
Excellent job again. It's another winner.
Yeah, we love it. I thought he did an amazing job.
And also, I wanted to make sure I checked out whatever videos were available out there, and I'm very pleasantly surprised to know that you have 3 outstanding videos, 2 official videos and 1 official lyric video out there. I'd like to give people your YouTube channel. It's infrared, and on there you have the From the Black Swamp official video, the No Masters, No Gods official video, and Evil Ascent official lyric video. Each on their own are outstanding videos, and I'd like to know some background about how the videos came together, as far as direction, who directed, who edited, where is this produced, because it looks very professionally done, and it looks like one video the band is playing, you know, performing, and it's superimposed on the background, and it really worked well. It looked really outstanding.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll kind of do tag team on this one, Mike. So so From the Black Swamp was we shot that ourselves, and we actually shot it with a cell phone. So and then basically edit it again, like in my studio. So that video cost us literally $0. And
Excellent.
yeah, and then I'll send it over. Oh, and it stars my daughter in it. She's the swamp creature in that one. So yeah, we had fun. We had fun doing it. It was an interesting approach to video making. It's very guerrilla warfare style video making. Mike, yeah, you take no masters or?
Yeah, well, no masters. A friend of Kirk's was actually getting into this type of work, doing a lot of video editing and green screen work and so on. And he was interested in wanting to get into sort of the music video avenue. And we said, hey, we're looking to do a video, so it was a nice fit. And we'd never done anything green screen before, which was interesting because we all performed our parts individually in front of this green screen, which was kind of, you had to kind of pretend,
Right.
And we had no, when you're playing, we all did our parts, and we're sitting at home kind of wondering, so what's it going to look like behind us? We have no idea what he's going to superimpose behind us. And I think he did a great job with it. It sort of captured the whole ambience of the song,
Yeah, great job with that. It's almost like doing a TV show when they're doing their green screen, and then when you're watching it, it's not a green screen, but it's like you didn't know what was going on until after you saw that video, and then you were quite impressed with it as well.
I was, yeah. I've never seen myself in the green screen or us in a green screen, and the scenes look really cool. Yeah, I was more than impressed with what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Dan Vincelette was the guy's name who did it. An awesome guy, very easy to work with too. So we had a lot of fun doing that one.
Was he also easy on your pocket?
Yeah, well, because he was getting into it, So obviously there was it was easy on the pocket. He wanted something for his portfolio, so it was a mutual decision to work togetve in that respect.
Like the barter system, a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but of course, we would work with him again. We've always worked with really good people. So like Skytography is another that we work with and have great videos with him. So yeah. And then the other video, the lyric video, is David Bulgarek. He's a guy from Poland. He did a lyric video for us on the last album, on Saviors, Father of Lies. So we really liked what he did in that. So we basically handed him the song lyrics and said, whatever comes out of your head, we trust you. Just, put it together. And sure enough, it was nothing like what we would have done. But when we saw it, we're just like, wow, this is really cool. Like he took this in a different direction, but it all kind of works with the lyrics and stuff like that. So we were really pleased with that one as well.
Yeah, great job. Are there any other videos out there that I haven't seen, or are you planning on making any other videos? Not that you need to make any more. You have 3 really great ones there, but I don't know. So I'm asking because I don't know what your plan is.
Never say never. There might be, it won't be anytime soon. Like if we decide to do something, maybe when the warmer weather comes back around. Like we had some ideas for other songs, so we'll see.
Yeah. We don't have anything
when
in
the warm weather comes back around.
Yeah.
That'll be a while.
Yeah. I was just saying we don't have anything in the can that we can just release or anything. So if a video is coming, we still have some time. We'll have to organize and film something. So that's why maybe by springtime we'll have something. Maybe we're not sure. We haven't decided for sure. I don't want to promise anything.
I totally understand that. And one of the most important things about doing these interviews is about promoting the music. And I always try to inform the fans on how they could get their copies of either the digital downloads or the physical copy of your music. Now, I went and looked at CD Baby because I remember last time you were connected to CD Baby, but I noticed that there is no more CD Baby. You can't get music from them anymore. They're focusing on other avenues. I was not aware of that. That's really weird. But I do have your infraredmetal.ca link, and I have your Bandcamp, infraredmetal.bandcamp.com. and I know you're available on Spotify, iTunes, and like I said, Bandcamp. But where can fans of Infrared get the physical copy? Do we have a link for them?
Bandcamp is the best. Yeah.
You can get the actual physical copy from Bandcamp as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll
that's good to know. I was not aware of that. Okay,
Yeah, you can buy
time...
it digitally. You can get it physically, and all our shirts and patches are also available there as well.
Very good. Yes. That's good. So everything's
CD
there
Baby.
at infraredmetal.bandcamp.com. Okay, good.
Exactly. Yeah. Like CD Baby did shut that down. I was surprised too when we went to go load up our latest album. So they're basically strictly now going into the distribution side of things. So they'll still distribute your CDs to third-party resellers like Sony Music and Atlantic and all that kind of stuff, whoever wants to buy them. And they'll do the digital distribution and manage all that kind of stuff for you. So it's still there's still high value for bands there. And then, like I said, with Bandcamp, you can do your digital stuff as well as your merch sales. They allow you to do merch sales, and they just take sort of like a profit sharing cut from it.
Yeah, I got you. And let's tease your fans about merch. Let's inform them on what you currently have available for them. Hopefully they can support Infrared by getting some merch. You mentioned T-shirts and patches. What do you have that's new for them?
Well, we have some brand new from the Black Swamp T-shirt. So there's T-shirts with the album cover on the shirt. So if you're a fan of the logo, you probably would be a fan of the shirt. And we got some brand new Infrared patches made this year that were really slick, that we're really excited about. They're really nice looking. You can see them on Bandcamp. Yeah, we're excited about those two. So those are the two newest items we have, and we have a bunch of other different shirts and stuff available as well.
That's good to know. I appreciate that information. And I noticed on your Facebook, let me give the Facebook to the fans that may not have it, facebook.com/infrared metal. I was looking for tour dates, show dates, whatever gigs you may have, and I noticed that you have your first and last show coming up right after Thanksgiving, the American holiday anyway, but November 27th, that's a Saturday at 8 p.m., Infrared's playing with A Scar for the Wicked and Enforcer at Ottawa's Mavericks.
Yep.
Why only one show this year?
Go for it, Mike.
Well, basically, clubs just started having shows very slowly. It's sort of starting in the summer, and then they were sort of talked about locking things down. Everything was kind of uneasy at that point, so we were just kind of watching the scene and practicing our stuff and getting ready to be able to play a show. And then things started as fall hit. The clubs were basically open for business, so we managed to get a spot at the end of November, a headlining show. So we're going to play a full hour, probably about 3/4 of the new album we're going to be playing live with a bunch of old songs as well. So we're so stoked about this album that kind of tells you how excited we are about it when 3/4 of the album is in our set list. So we're pretty excited about that. And I guess because it's late November, we don't plan on playing anything else for the rest of this calendar year, but we're definitely looking to continue that in the new year.
Yeah, I guess COVID had a part of that too. I mean, in one way, it helped you really focus on making great music, but being able to perform it was kind of a downfall of COVID. And getting back to that COVID, though, I'm just curious: did you guys get vaccinated?
I did. Yeah.
We're all fully vaccinated.
It's the right thing to do. I mean, I was on the fence about it, but then I got it done back in May. A lot of people in my circle felt that it was all about control from the government, and I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as a matter of life and death, that if I don't get it, I'm stuck wearing this mask all the time. And even though I have the vaccine, I still have to wear the mask, but I was not wearing it as often as I was. I never got the COVID, and I never had symptoms of it. But still, I had the vaccine, and I don't know why people wouldn't get the vaccine, but some people think it's political. It's all about control, and I never felt that way, but there are many people that do.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a battle that I don't think we're gonna win or want to fight against. I mean, at the end of the day, it does come down to personal choice. But when you
Right.
go out and educate yourself, and if you're getting your news from Facebook or Instagram, you might want to try for another location.
Right.
And I'm not saying to get it from Fox or CNN or CBC or whatever it is. You can spread out your research to reliable news sources that are not just from your country. It's probably a good thing. But more importantly, to the scientific community, it's mind-boggling to me to think that you have millions of doctors on board in this big conspiracy to try to control you. Control you how? By giving you a vaccine? Is the flu shot control? Is my polio shot control? Is my tetanus shot control from the government?
Right.
There's a pandemic, and it's killing people globally. I mean, these are indisputable facts. And then when you have a vaccinated population, you see the numbers drop drastically, which is also an indisputable fact. Now, some people may say, "Well, that's conspiracy; they're lying to you." Like, no, it's not, because we're seeing it. We see it in our circles. People, we were getting sick with it, and now they're not. So, I don't know. It's just take the time to educate yourself, and don't everybody thinks people watching regular news channels are the sheep. Well, it's no different than somebody getting their news cycle from a meme on Facebook. They're sheep too. So expand beyond the regular channels, and you'll find the truth in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I have to wait one more month to make it 6 months since my second shot for the booster. And what I understand is there'll be another booster at some point after that. So whatever has to be done to protect me from dying from this thing, I'm going to do it myself. There's no doubt about that. I wish other people felt the same way, but I know people that have recently died because they have not had the vaccine. I'm not saying that the vaccine would have saved their lives, but it probably would have had a better chance surviving it with that than without it.
Well, I mean, the numbers are out there too. I've known people that have died from it as well, and this was before vax and then after vax as well, who didn't get vaccinated.
I don't know. There's just too much. I just refuse to believe that the entire planet's lying, to try to control me.
Yeah, it's like a bad movie. Like you're watching something on TV, and they're controlling everything, watching everything. What was that movie? I forget what it was called. I think Jim Carrey, the funny actor. I forget what the name of the movie was.
The world according. What is it? I know which one you're talking about. Where he's in it, he's in a fake world kind of thing, and it's
everybody's watching everything you do. Yeah, I forget the name of the movie though. But it reminds me of that when people say, "Oh, the government's controlling you by having that done." They want to know, they're watching everything you do because they're giving you this vaccine, which is really, watching everything you do. I don't believe that. Although we're living in the times where, they're watching everything you do because you can't get away with anything without being caught. Look what happened to our governor recently. He got caught. He tried to deny it, but they took him out of office. You can't get away with anything these days. It wasn't like back in the days of JFK or FDR. Whatever they did, no one knew about it. Now everything is wide open. You could see, everyone knows everything, and they have all the social media out there. You can't get away with anything before somebody knows about it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not because of the government. It's just, controlling us. It's just the way it is.
Well, on the side of the thought of the government controls and watching over everything we do, honestly, I don't think I'm important enough for the government to spend their time and money watching everything I do. I really don't think I'm worth that much money to the government to spend.
I hear you. Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, would you like to talk about your gear? Would you like to talk about your bases, Mike? And I noticed a couple of videos you had different bases, so I know you have different bases. And Armin, we may have talked about this in the past, but if you'd like to talk about it again, If you'd like to talk about your guitars, we'd love to hear it again.
Yeah, sure. Go,
Well,
Mike.
yeah, well, actually, that's an interesting topic about my basses, because I made a quite a big switch when it came to coming up to writing this album. I'd never played a 5-string bass before, and I'd always found times where I wish I had just had that one lower note to play, in this run or in this riff or lick that I'm playing. And so I told myself, you know what? Before we start writing this album, I'm going to get myself a 5-string, and that'll be my inspiration to give me new creative ideas for writing my parts for the new album. So I did that, and I actually got a one made for me. It was because I'm left-handed, I can't just walk into a store and pick something up off the shelf and buy it, because they're all right-handed. So I had to get one ordered. And I got Dingwall. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's a Canadian company. Make very high quality basses. And it did exactly what I wanted it to. It really, that extra string, that extra note, gave me an extra creativity. It kind of expanded my horizon of what I was going to try. And I personally feel I've come up with my most creative work I've ever done, and I'm really happy with it, and just love the new bass. So.
That's great. Hey, Mike, by the way, have you ever tried playing a right-handed bass and switch it around and play it left-handed? Did you ever try working with that? Did it ever work out?
I did, actually. When I started to play, I started playing guitar before I played bass. And I tried this on guitar and bass. I thought, it's so hard to find left-handed instruments. It would be so much easier if I could just play like a right-handed person. And I tried so much, and it just didn't feel right. So I just went with what was natural.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're happy with what you got. It looked beautiful in the videos, by the way.
Oh, it's a beautiful bass, well crafted. And I would like another one, but because it's so nice. But this one I'm just in love with. Yeah, it's a great instrument.
Excellent. And Armin, you have any updates on your guitars? Do you want to talk about that?
Since the last time we talked, not sure what kind of was adding guitars. It's a bit of a sickness, but I'm not like crazy like a lot of people that I know. I think I'm capped right now at about 6 flying V's. So I try to kind of, I don't know, I like trying all of them. So like I have like a Gibson flying V, like the the classic black and white one. I've got a
Nice.
Jackson V that's got like a beautiful wood grain finish on it. That's in one of our videos, I think in the Genocide Convention video. That's probably one of my favorite guitars. I think it's my most beautiful guitar. And then I had a custom one built around the same time that I got this one. The only reason I got the Jackson was because I was waiting so long to get that custom guitar. It was like killing me. So I ended up getting that Jackson, but the custom one was from Halo Guitars. So I got to design that myself, and so that one plays and I think looks pretty cool as well. So it just kind of I spread it around. Now the one that I'm playing mainly right now is like a black Schecter that I bought off of another band here in Ottawa, and I just kind of refitted it with new pickups and had some work done on it, and now that seems to be my go-to workhorse. That and the Jackson.
Very
And as far
nice.
as like and as far as like amp gear is concerned, like everybody wanted tube amps and stuff like that. So like I fully bought into the digital world, just for saving my back and the simplicity of it. Like I like to be able to press a button and just have my entire tone and effects and everything change with one press of a button. And I said, like, I've put people to the test on who have golden ears, and say, like, is this a real amp or is this a fake amp? And they don't, like, whether it's live or whether it's in a studio recording, and they can't tell. So why would I fight something that sounds that good?
Right. If it works, why fix it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, I'm just curious, during this whole COVID situation, from the beginning till even now, your livelihood, was it affected by COVID? Were you able to earn a living? And if so, what are you currently doing? Besides the band, I mean, to make money.
Yeah. Well, from a band perspective, it basically hit the reset button for us. Like we were like sort of in like a non-profit organization mode where we weren't spending money out of pocket, but but we weren't making we weren't making a ton of money.
Right.
And then as soon as COVID hits, like, okay, well, now we're not selling merch, we're not doing anything, and we got to put a new album out, and there are still expenses, even though like we tried to make it as cheap as possible by doing most of it ourselves. You still have to outlay for pressing CDs and artwork and T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. So then you're basically starting over again by basically funding the band so that you can get these things. And now we're starting to make money by selling those things. So now we're basically just breaking even again. So we clearly do it for love. As far as day job is concerned, none of us was affected by that. All our jobs were stable. I'm in the IT world, as is Mike. But I'll let him sort of give his take on how it affected him.
Yeah, I actually, I didn't lose any work. I do IT work, and basically as soon as COVID had hit, was handed a laptop and sent home. You're going to work from home now, and I'm still working from home, so I haven't lost out on any work. And being at home is also being closer to my base too, so that's not a problem at all.
That's good news. That's really good news. And Mike and Armin, I want to thank you for spending time with us tonight on Metal Meltdown, Metal Messiah Radio. As always, it's a pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to the future to talk to you again. You really have a great band here, and I wish you much success. But before we go, I want to make sure that we got everything covered. I think we've done a great job, but if there's anything else that you want to bring out to the Infrared fans, please do so.
Well, I mean, first things first, we want to thank you a lot for your support. You've been awesome over the years. We get to meet all these great people and then strike up friendships and stuff like that. So we really appreciate you. As far as what to say to the fans, I've said this before, but we're coming out of this, hopefully, knock on wood, coming out of this like really long haul of a pandemic, and let's try to emerge kinder, gentler, more tolerant human beings, and forget this divisiveness stuff. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to live our lives and be with people that we love, and so try to take a page out of that book, positive book, and not the negative book.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to just quickly add to that too is one thing COVID has done to me over these past couple of years with shows just stopping our own and actually others to go in and watch is it kind of sits me back and said, don't take things for granted anymore, because a couple of those shows, that I wish I would have gone to, and I said, no, I'm kind of tired tonight, I'll stay at home. Now I'm thinking, wow, we went 2 years without any shows. Do I want to do that? If I have a show I want to see, I think I'm going to go see it now. So, just that kind of thought changed the mindset,
Yeah. I could tell you from my experience and my business, we were locked down for 2 months. We couldn't work selling ice cream. When we went back to work, it was like the 4th of July. That's our busiest day. For like 3 months solid, it was nonstop, crazy busy. As soon as they opened up the beaches, it's like people didn't even remember who we were. It's just like they took advantage of the situation. Everybody was home, so they got their ice cream. But as soon as the beaches were open, they're back to their normal. Well, they tried to get back to their normal lives, and ice cream wasn't important anymore. They would tell you, "Oh, you don't know how important you are to my children. You give them some normality in their lives." Oh, it all sounded great, and people were actually tipping like crazy. Like you charge, let's say, $3 a cone, they'd give you $5 and say, "Hey, keep the change. We really appreciate it." And this year is a different year altogether. Everyone's driving. Where they're going, I don't know. But they're driving. Nobody's home almost. It's like really, as soon as things go back to normal, it just killed everything for me. On my perspective, it's not a different world. It's just like, that's what it is. There's too many things for people to do. They're not going to sit at home anymore. They did that for a good, I don't know how long it was, under the lockdown, and not working from home, like you said, and the kids being home from school. They got tired of that real quick, and now they're just like, it's a different world for me. But that's my experience. It's not a very happy experience, but it is what it is, you know. But what can the fans expect next from Infrared? I mean, you've done everything so well, and you got this one show coming up on the 27th. After that, do you think you'll be starting working on new music, or you're gonna like just enjoy what you have for now and see what the future holds?
Well, we always have ideas in the hopper, but we literally force ourselves not to dive into them, right? Because we actually want to focus on promoting this album and getting out and playing. So the only thing is we're going to be at the mercy of what's going on with the pandemic, right? So like even now, like I'm kind of biting my tongue and clenching my teeth because you're seeing numbers going up here in Ottawa, and our show's only a couple of weeks away. I think we're still going to be able to squeak it in, but as soon as numbers hit a certain level, they start shutting things down again, and so it'll be a sad day. But if people can't get their act together, then it's just going to keep happening. So hopefully, or it's just going to be a matter of the vax will be kind of protected and be a little bit sick. The unvaxxed, will get sick and they'll either survive it or they will get immunity, and then we'll eventually get out of it one way or the other. But in the interim, we'd like to be able to play. So that's why we want people to do the right thing for selfish reasons, because we actually want to play a lot.
That's good news, yes. And I want to guarantee you that Infrared will be on regular rotation. We're going to be playing the heck out of the Black Swamp, and it's just the right thing to do. It's very good music, great thrash, and I'm going to give this to LC so he could have it on auto, so it'll be regularly broadcast, and people will get to know this particular album as well as know more of Infrared, and hopefully that will lead to more merch sales for you. That's what it's all about, really. You got to spread the word and help the underground bands that need the help, and you deserve all the support you can get.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. And, yeah, and you're right. Yeah. Merch is the only way bands are making money these days. So,
we make way more money off of merch than we do off of music sales, for sure.
Right. Yeah, I got that. And again, I want to thank you for this interview. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope I'm not too rusty doing this. This is my first one of the season, and I'm glad that we got to do this. I want to wish everyone at Infrared and your entire circle, friends, family, everyone related to you, a very healthy what's left of this year and the new year. And I want to thank you for keeping in touch with me with your music. I always love talking about your music, but this one especially, I'm really feeling strong about this. And so I wish you to have success and more success for the years to come. And, the hope that COVID didn't really hurt you too badly like we were talking about. I hope that everything comes into fruition for the future success, that you actually can make money doing this.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Love that.
More than you know. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate everything.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for joining Armin and coming on the show again. I appreciate that. How about we go crank up some more Infrared, and let's crank it up really loud. Let's do this.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, great.
Okay, great.